Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Space. Doing another art journal page today. This one had no challenge, no reason, just wanted to play. So still filling up my altered wine book. Haha, I'm whining about my wine book. This is an altered book I'm working in. I've stuck several pages together and torn a lot of pages out, and it did indeed bust its spine. Now it's two books that are about 1.5 inches thick, and I'm still finding pages to do. I've seriously been doing this art journal book for, this could be coming on the 3rd year. Yeah, I believe I started it 2014. Oh wow. I swear the pages do multiply overnight when I'm not looking, because every time I flip through the book I find more pages. Okay, so just applying some gesso with a Tim Holtz blending tool. I find the blending tools are great, except they hold so much paint at the end. I end up either washing a lot of paint down the sink, or I grab some scrap paper and just sort of scrape it on, and it makes pretty pattern papers, or painted papers. So using some of my Delusions paints that are drying out. That first one, the Kangaroo one, is basically gone to paint heaven. It's finished. I use these a lot in a class, in a so they got a fair beating in a 3-day workshop when I did them a couple of years ago. And I haven't used the paints for a little while, and I'm finding that they are drying out a bit. They're getting a bit thicker, so I'm determined to use them up this year. I love the paints. There's nothing wrong with them, but I use other paints, and I reach for other paints more often now than these ones. I do like that they're in a tub, so you can just stick your brush or stick something straight in them. You don't have to squeeze them out and waste them. But again, being in the tubs, they tend to, once you get a bit of air into them, or your tub gets halfway down, with the Delusions I find they start to go a bit hard and thicken up the paint. But at least with the tubes, they don't tend to do that for some reason. So here I go trying to get the paint out of the blending tool, and you can see there is a lot of paint stored in that foam. That's the only downside of using the blending foam, I find. Whether it's ink or paint, it's just oodles of stuff left in it. It's a pretty sheet of paper to use for something else. That's a piece of that greaseproof paper from Woolworths that I featured in a haul a little while ago. It's about $1.50 a roll for 30 odd metres or something, and it's equivalent to deli paper in the States, or as close as we can get in Australia. So I just dried that up. Didn't really know where I was going with this page. Oh, there's the first of our fancy video editing. And a credit to Alexis that did some of my fancy transitions. Let me know if you like them or not, fading in and out. She did give me a preference of a few different ones, and the fading one sort of took my fancy. So I forgot to turn the camera on here a bit. I was trying to use one of my stencils as a stamp, because it worked quite well. When I put it on a gel plate and get loads of paint on the stencil, you can usually stamp it onto the page. So I thought, oh, I'd just do that without a gel plate. It didn't really work. So I got the outline of the tree, but then I went and painted the tree myself with the Delusions black. You can see the deli paper on the left hand side there. I placed the stencil down and sort of just painted all over the back of the stencil, and then turned it over and tried to stamp it on my page. But as you can tell, it didn't really work. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. So I basically, there was enough of an outline there to guide me to where to paint the trees. So they're pretty funky looking trees with sort of curly branches and branches coming out of everywhere. I'm loving painting at the moment in my art journal, just doing full on painty spreads or full on background spreads. I don't know what it is, it's just my thing at the moment. Go onto the collage papers, or there will be a bit of collage on this page. But I tend to go through fads. I will do a couple of months of just basically collage on collage on collage, and lots of collaging in my art journal, and then I'll revert back to just painting, and this is one of them. And I've done, since this one, I think before I did this one, I've no idea. I often edit videos out of order of what I've actually done them, physically done them. So since then, I think I've done a few pages of just painting, and I've really, really enjoyed it. Abstracty. And some faces and some flowers and stuff, just in a very loose style, and I'm seeming to enjoy that. So just giving that a dry. As I said, I didn't really have a purpose for this page. I just wanted to sit down and play. Some days I just want to get my hands dirty. So what inspired this page was actually a picture of a little giraffe. You'll see him come. There's the giraffe. So that was torn out of one of my altered books. So just fixing up a few mistakes I made with the black and going over it with the colour. So just working out where I want my giraffe placed, and with the magic of television, he's all cut out, all except for the little bit between his legs that I had to grab my craft knife for. The rest of it I just went around with scissors. So excuse my big head getting in the way. Due to my low vision or my low eyesight, I need to get my head and my nose fairly close to what I'm doing. Sometimes my big head gets in the way. So trying to fussy cut him out. And I play with his placement a little. I'm not sure where I want to put him, so I decided I want to put him off to the right hand side. He just looked a bit wrong, stuck right in the middle. I like this page where you can see some of the writing coming through as well. I didn't completely black out the writing that was already on the page. So just sticking that down with my favourite glue, Liquitex Matte Gel Medium. It is my favourite, apart from the only thing that's not my favourite regarding it is the cost here in Australia. But we won't go into that again. I've winced enough about that. So then I decided my tree needed some leaves, and I really wasn't sure of how I was going to do the leaves. I didn't want to sit there and cut paper leaves. I just wanted the look of leaves without the hassle of the leaves. I was being lazy this night. So I decided to stamp on some leaves. Couldn't find a leaf stamp, so I found like a flourishy stamp. So just using it without a stamping block because it was easier. Didn't matter if it didn't completely stamp here or there. I just wanted basically the illusion of leaves other than leaves. So I'm happy with the result. Something different. I'm finding I don't really have a style in my art journal. All my art journal pages are fairly eclectic, fairly different. I can go from doing a fully collaged, gel printed, painted page to a dark grungy steampunk page to just like a kid type cutesy page or whatever takes my fancy. And that's a lot in all of my craft. I'm very eclectic with what my style is. I value people and admire people that do everything in steampunk or everything in shabby chic, but I like to try everything. So then I decided that I needed to blend him in a bit. So blending in a little bit of grass that I left on his feet to the bottom of the page and adding it in green. So it almost looks like he's standing there, but he's not stuck on. If that makes sense. And then I had to fix up some black because I got some green paint on the black. I love how his little tail is sitting on the trunk of the tree. I didn't really plan that, but that sort of just happened and it looks very cute, makes it stand out. So just touching up a bit of black here and there where I made mistakes. I love paint in that way that it's very freeing, and if you make a mistake you can just go over it with another colour and over it with another colour, and if you particularly don't like it at all you just gesso the whole page and start again. So it's a very forgiving medium paint, which is acrylic paint, which is really cool. Then the giraffe looked a bit funny black and white, so we needed some colour. So out come the Delusions. I believe this one's Squeezed Lemonade. I don't have any of her newer colours. I think I might get some, but I really can't get some when I can't justify buying some more when I haven't sort of used these ones up yet. Trying to use what I have and not buy. Isn't that just dreadful? But we'll see. I don't know why I stopped and paused there. Something obviously caught my fancy on the TV or something or other. So just painting over the book page. Because I did seal it with the matte gel medium, the acrylic paint goes over the top very nicely. So then I needed a little bit of shading, so I grabbed the tangerine. I think it's tangerine colour from Delusions, and just did a bit of shading where there was shading in the picture. I added a bit of orange. I do put some pictures at the end, or some still photos at the end, to show you some more detail, because I know it is hard to see detail when the book is sort of double spread like this. And I personally find I like the photos at the back. So then I decided to add some words. These I pulled out of my stash. Oh my god, those are really, really old. They were prior Alexis, prior the shop, 15 years old. I'm delving into a lot of boxes of old stuff, and these were some rub-ons I had at my retail store a few years ago. I've been out of my retail store 10 years, so yeah, you can imagine. These were great, cheap rub-ons back then, but for some reason they wouldn't rub on. They were just stuck. So I thought, I still want to use it. The title said Delight in Your Youth, and I thought that was perfect with a young baby giraffe. So I tried to rub them on with all my might, and a little bit went on and not much did. So I thought, buddy, I'll get the better of you rub-ons. I will just grab out my great clear crafty glue and stick the piece of plastic. Because when you get rub-ons, they're like on a sheet of acetate. And I've done this before and it's worked really, really well. Stuck the entire acetate sheet on a piece of paper. And you do get the plasticky look on your page. But that's okay, it gives it its own shiny look. So I cut the words out so I could just split them up and place them on the page. So that's a good tip. If you've got really old rub-ons and they don't want to rub on, just stick them down and use them like a sticker. Just add some clear glue. So just adding some clear glue to the back. That clear glue there is from the Reject Shop. It is awesome glue. It's not runny. I like a gel glue. And I think that was only $4 or $6, that pot. And I'm about halfway through it. I do have to look at getting some more, because it is getting really hard to squeeze out at the moment. I must store it upside down. Then I decided my page needed a bit of a doodly border. So a bit of a scribbly border right around the edge, and then we're done. So thank you for bearing with me till the end. I know sometimes my videos go off on a bit of a tangent, but that's just me. So a few still photos at the end, and thank you again, Miss Alexis, for doing my video editing with my very cool transitioning pictures. Catch you next time. Bye for now.